It's always painful to have a chapter that begins and doesn't contain anything from where the previous one left off, and that's where a lot of the like hype that you get is, and a lot of the questioning. Obviously, like I mentioned the last one when they were looking at that whole like vision, and there was a moon that looked like the Soul Eater moon. I'm curious to know if that was just the art style of the author, or if it's maybe some weird indication of either they're going to somehow connect to the Soul Eater world, or if that is the Soul Eater world, like way in the future or something. I don't know. I'm very curious to know how that's going to go. But as this chapter, for the most part, I thought it was all right. There was definitely a part I really liked, and we'll get to that in a moment. So it opens up. They're talking about the craziness of turning your planet into a new sun. You literally their whole goal between the White Clads is they want to pretty much turn Earth into a new burning star. I completely total insanity. And I 100% agree with them. They're like, yeah, that's pretty cult talk. And like, yeah, I would agree. You should. I don't know why you would follow this, but I guess you got this religious tie that now is linked to here. So go on ahead, I guess. But don't be surprised when Shinra and crew kicks the shit out of you. But back to it, Shinra is fighting Burns, and there's some unfortunate parts with him because he still had that moment when he was little, and Burns should have saved him from the fire that killed his mother, and he's always talked about since then. He's had like a little bit of a fatherly kind of view on Burns, and he's always kind of just looked up to him as that model character. But now he's got to go against him because Burns is instead going with his religious stating, because he always talked about he was going to follow his beliefs of what was it? He originally said the church, but now like the it's hard to pronounce the word evangelion. Oh my god, I'm never gonna be able to pronounce that word. There's a couple words that just no matter what, you're never able to get evangelion. I'm just gonna call her the Adola Link lady, but she has now like coaxed over all these people that were part of the fire companies under her side, and obviously now that they've got to go against it. I was actually really impressed because there's this whole part when they're like talking about, oh, you're not going to get in through this area, and then bam. Oh my god! I forget his name. He's one of the only characters I forget, which is weird because he's one of the only ones that I think that is just like very stand out by default because he has that built-in expression. But his whole power to increase the explosions and bullets, so he's always got like, what was it, the multiple barrels for like a shotgun and rifle and stuff on him because he ends up putting enough power that they just kind of like split open like a reed, and he just blasts through that whole wall. Like that's legitimately, and you actually can see one of the split barrels, the one that he just had on him, which I actually didn't notice that part until we were talking about him having that cool character trait, having all the barrels with him. But we've seen like the level of power he can output with one of those prior. This is way more. This is still really like not like a crazy feat even in the series itself, but like the jump from what he had to this is pretty incredible. And now they're going against these these dudes, and there's this one with a golden arm, and as the chapter says, strike the gold. For the next one, I think it's called Gold Secret. Guessing this character is just going to be called Gold, the ones that are called the Butchers. And I'm wondering what her power is. I feel like there's going to be probably a pretty simplistic explanation in the next chapter. I'm not like I've always been more of a fantasy guy, so I don't know like sci-fi and stuff, and like science was always probably my least enjoyed subject, and not the whole time, but in school. So I feel like if I looked into like applying heat to gold, I'd probably find out what exactly like her power is. But it looks to be some form of magnetism because she's able to alter the bullets after they're fired, and they're trying to figure out, okay, figuring out character powers and whatnot is what we need to do. We need to get all this going, and this chick's just kind of like hyping herself up, talking about she's alone, it's going to be enough to take on all these members. Honestly, like looking at the chapter itself, it just seemed kind of like a all right setup chapter, like I said earlier, for the most part. The thing that I am legitimately excited though, and this will probably take the rest of the review. This is going to be a pretty short review, probably only like another 2 minutes or so. But Tamaki, after she had like her training bit, because Arthur and Shinra did theirs, and Shinra got his flames. He's got now like a power up for him with his blue flames. And Tamaki, I was surprised that she was going to be involved in this because she's always been more of a comedic character. Obviously, she always ends up fan servicing herself. But to me, I always saw it in more of a funny way. Probably like 6 out of 10 times, just barely over half. I saw it more in a comedic way, just because it was more about the way that she ends up like screwing herself over. I always found very the more entertaining part than just seeing her looting of her own person. But with that whole trading bit, like her getting up there, I was like, oh, cool, she's gonna get stronger and be able to join into what's going on. And hopefully the next arc she'll be able to fight. And like her jump was actually very impressive because it was earlier in the series, those two little twin girls were made up to be pretty impressive characters, pretty powerful. And then they had to play against they're like, hey, we're gonna play, what was it? It was pretty much tag. They went to go tag her, and she had to try and keep away for a minute. And right near the end, she pretty much like advanced her fire form because she has this twin tail and cat ears fire form. I remember what is the Japanese version? What is that called? With the cat with two tails, the Nekomata, I think. But she's pretty much that with fire. She's fast, not as fast as Shinra, but her flexibility and mobility is way it gives her that aspect more. Shinra's obviously going to be able to move from location to location at a higher speed, but she's able to make those quick decision like alterations. She's got a higher level of agility to it, and I'm legitimately excited to see what she's capable of now, because that's always been a really fun trope that I've enjoyed. Is when you have a character who's made out to be really weak at the start, and then there's a point where they kind of like, I'm tired of this. I want to become stronger. I want to be able to contribute, and they end up becoming really strong. I think my favorite, actually two of my favorites rather. One is because probably going to be easier without going into too much explanation for people who freak my channel. Wendy from Fairy Tail, because she was very shy and had like no real battle prowess at the start of the series. Then each arc, she became a better fighter, became more confident in her abilities, and it showed a lot near the end. But the other one is, if you've ever read Zatch Bell, I think the Japanese version is what's it, Gash no Konjiki, I think. I've always remembered as Zatch Bell because that was the official name, not the official, the English name is Zatch Bell because that's what the anime is, because they changed his name from Gash to Zatch for some reason. But a character, and if you've always been interested in the series, I won't give you any spoilers, but I'll just say like Consomme, he goes from like stupidly weak, sometimes gets like an upper hand on his opponents by tricks, like doing tricks, to being horribly broken and overpowered by the end of the series. And that was one that I actually really like. Also, what's his name? Kabuto from Siren. His was really cool too. I've always just really enjoyed seeing that aspect, because Tamaki isn't weak, but she was weak compared to the other characters that were always around her. She ended up always getting looped in with the main crew, and obviously had lists of people like Shinra and Arthur in there. And Tamaki's clumsiness combined with what seems to be her not nearly as much skilled in combat like level always ended up getting her in a rough area. But now she's gotten a lot stronger. She's become a lot faster. She's a lot quicker on the draw. I'm really looking forward to that. Even if like this character Gold, even if they're not like a big character, I mean, they're one of the butchers of the White Cloud, so they have to have somewhat of level. Maybe not like Sharon, or however you pronounce his name, Sharon. I don't know. Maybe not to his level, but still, I just want to see her go out and be pretty cool and just flex on some people and be like, haha, you guys don't know, I got stronger and I got new power forms. I'm wondering if her flame's blue too, or if it's just red, because I know unlike the others, hers is red. Like you can see it in this cover one that I'm using, which awesome that I get to have both the cover one and her in this video. I don't think any others are like that red. I'd have to go. I'm just gonna really quick look at Fire Force covers. Fire Force volume covers. I don't think any of the other characters are just straight red, because yeah, like Shinra's is orange, like normal fire. Well, it was, but yeah. So definitely gonna have a lot of fun with that. Hoping she displays herself, shows off her new skill and talent, and proves her capabilities as a member of. Did she get converted at the 8th Company? I think so. I can see it on her sleeve, actually, now I'm looking at it. Pretty sure. Obviously, yeah, because she also ran away with them. So yeah, she wouldn't be in the 1st Company anymore. Anyway, comment below what you thought about this chapter. And I'm literally looking at this one. I thought about trying to end it a little shorter or prolong it, because it's right around that 10-minute mark, but whatever. I mean, Yeah, comment below. Tell me what you think. I'm very happy that the series now has a consistent translation. That is, I can add it to my normal reviews because it's always going to come out seemingly around the same time as long as it's doing it. And if they stop, then I'll be pretty sad because then I won't get to review it. And I do like the series, and it's fun, especially now because the anime, looks beautiful and people are getting really on board with it. But anyway, like I said, I really appreciate comment below, thumbs up the video, and befriend the like button and subscribe button, and check out my other videos. For that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.